What up, peeps? Welcome back to the channel. So I got my fuel rail in, my fuel rail in, and the kit with the steel braided lines. And also AutoZone hit me up. I did get my gasket that I was missing for the throttle. So let's get this stuff installed. Let's go. But before I kick off this episode, I want to say shout out to Christian at Honda Vlogs. Go check him out. He recaps every Honda guy and Acura guy that's new, that's already known. And I also want to say thanks for the shout out. I will put a link to his channel down in the description, so go check him out. Anyways, this is the fuel rail. I did opt to go with a cheaper brand off eBay because my pockets ain't deep. So I got this K-Series one. It costs around $250. Came with the fuel rail, the AN lines, which these are different compared to my brother-in-law's. I've seen my brother-in-law's lines and I don't think his was like this, but I don't know, I have to double check. Also came with the regulator and the pressure gauge for the fuel. So I'm gonna put the gasket on. It's pretty simple, it's 4 bolts. So I took the fuel rail out now that I got the throttle bolted in. I did find a map sensor, so I put it in. I just have to order the, I don't think that's a 10, I think that's like an 8. I'll order it at my dealership tomorrow. But I did take out the fuel rail and the injectors so I could put the injectors on the fuel rail first. Because, trying to put the fuel rail on and fighting with it, it's a lot tougher. It's easier to do it this way than it is to try to fight the fuel rail with the injectors. So I'm going to continue putting this on. I'm also gonna figure out where I want to put the regulator. I know it's a cheap regulator, but it's just temporary until I can upgrade it. But I'm thinking about putting it here. But I also did see other YouTuber put it somewhere here. I don't know. I'm gonna figure some stuff out. So I noticed when I put my hand right here, just to work on the fuel line over here, I noticed that this was loose. And I'm like, how if I just tightened it? But I forgot to tighten the ones that hold the K-tune bracket to the manifold. So let me take this back out and tighten it, and then we're good to go there. Always double check your work, make sure everything's tight, because you don't want things like this to happen. So for some reason, this line is way too long, like way too long. So I figured where this one goes, that one goes to where it returns the fuel back, because the fuel comes into the filter and then it comes in the fuel rail. And I've seen a lot of people run it just with one. I don't know how. I really don't know much about setting up fuel lines and stuff like that. I know the basics. So the fuel comes in through the fuel rail, gives it to the injector, then goes back into the tank. But this is way too long, so I'm gonna cut it here, add the ends of that to here so I can screw it here, then use this hose from here to here. Because the one they gave me, this one, yeah, that'll never work. So, so that's my only option. So with the cutting part, this is my first try. Yeah, doesn't look too good. I used these like, I don't know what the hell they are, but something to cut. And I thought it was gonna go good, but it didn't. So what I did was, I have a snap-on or blue point blade, or any blade will probably work, and I just put it against that, dug into it first, cut, and then with a hammer I hit it down and it split it right in half. So the cuts are nice and clean compared to what the hell is this. So I got this line all done. Now I'm gonna get the line that goes from here to the regulator, but this screws into here. And then it goes here. So it seems a little longer. I don't know what I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna curve it. I don't know, I might cut it shorter. So I set you guys up on the tripod. I do have to cut this line more. Before I always cut, I always like to measure things and and figure out where I want to put stuff before I actually cut it. You know, I measured this about 6 times before I figured out how long, or if I want it real close to the valve cover or away. I did figure out that if I run this straight line here, I'm gonna run into problems with my throttle cable. So I'm gonna take this off this side, and I'm gonna run this elbow that I put on this side. I'm actually gonna run this elbow this way. I'm gonna run this elbow like this, so that way it's away from the throttle cable and I don't have to worry about none of that stuff. Then I could use this side this way, and then bam, right there. So that way I have space to put the throttle cable and it's not all in the way and I can't tighten it. So I'm gonna cut it here. So now that I got this measured out here, you gotta remember that the line always slides in here about a little less than ½ inch, maybe a ½ inch. It's a little bit that it slides in. You'll see when you take one of these things out. But you don't want to cut exactly right here, you know, because then you're gonna have to pull the line in. You know what I'm saying? So you want to cut. By no means am I perfect in DIYs, but I'm just showing you the knowledge I know. I'm gonna cut a little bit further this way, so I have room to play with, like I said before. So you want to leave this tape on. That's what I did before, so that way it doesn't get fuzzy, or the metal lines in here don't stick out, and then it's tough for you to put the cap on. So I'm gonna show you how I did it. Okay, so this is the cap I was telling you that you can see how far in it goes. So you just want to slide it in. So now you want to grab the other end and toss it in here. And this will expand it so it doesn't go anywhere. Pretty much stays on there. So I'm going to tighten this up, install it, and then show you how it looks. So there she is. It's installed. It's not going anywhere. I can guarantee that. I didn't tighten anything down because I am missing a fitting that goes here. I'll get that at Pep Boys and get that situated. But yeah, there you go. That's me installing my viewer. Hopefully everything works. I do have to make sure that everything's tight again, because, you know, I did forget this. So always double check your work. And yeah, that's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching. Peace.